Welcome, everyone. It's time for Killian Cougar Fall Baseball. Today we're coming to you from Ray Boy Field in beautiful South Dade to take on the South Dade Buccaneers in some fall baseball. It ought to be a good one here today. It's a beautiful fall afternoon, clear blue sky, some white puffy clouds flying around, and a nice breeze coming in over right field. And we should have a good one here at the home of the 2014 7A Division state champions, led by Coach Fred Burnside. I was here to witness most every home game. They were led by senior Eric Manoa and his younger brother Alec Manoa, who's now an active member of the Toronto Blue Jays. So every time we come down here to Ray Boy Field, I can remember that 2014 championship. For today, we'll be right back with the starting lineups right after these messages. It's time for some Killian Cougar fall baseball from Ray Boy Field. It's your Killian Cougars at the home of the Bucks. The Bucks are welcoming in the Cougars for some fall baseball. We're ready to get underway. The lineup for your Cougars, it's Damian Leyva, followed by Antonio Vasquez. Then it's Eddie Naranjo, John Michael Cuetos batting cleanup and playing catcher. Ryan Yambas, Antonio Laziza, Kevin Nunez playing third base and batting seventh. The senior Kenry Blanco is in center field. Jordan Scantleberry is in left field wearing number 23. And Big Chase Martinez is starting over in first base. And the pitcher for the Bucks is Vladimir De Silva. De Silva, the right-handed pitcher. Leyva, the left-handed batter, looks at a ball one. Damon Leyva, the transfer from Sunset, takes that one inside. It's a beautiful afternoon for baseball here in South Dade. Always love coming down here, watching the vegetables and all the things growing, the animals, some horses. Went down to Robert is here, picked up a shake. The fastball to Leyva swung on and missed for strike two. We're at Ray Boy Field, home of the 2014 7A champions, baseball champions right here, led by Fred Burnside. De Silva's pitch is in the dirt. That evens the count at 2-2. The Bucks will play a doubleheader here in the fall. This is the first game of the playoffs, and Killian's on the road. Now De Silva's coming from the full windup. He gets it signed from John Oliva, the catcher for the Bucks. And that one's against the backstop to fill the count. Leyva has some power from the left side. The breeze has died down a little bit. Here comes De Silva's pitch, and it's swung. No, it's taken for ball four. And we have a Cougar on first base, and it'll bring up the second baseman today, Antonio Vasquez, and he'll be followed by the shortstop, Eddie Naranjo. Coach Martinez over on third base. Now De Silva comes from the stretch. A bunt hit foul into the screen. So Coach Martinez trying to get something going here early. We're going to start this game with the sunlight and probably end it with the regular lights, as the time has changed and it gets dark a little bit earlier now. De Silva doesn't like what Oliva put down. He shook him off. Leiva's on first. He squares off. Vasquez bunts it right back to the pitcher. He bobbles a little bit, throws it over to Big Zach Tyer for the first out. But Vasquez did his job in moving the runner over to second base and sacrificing an out. The Bucs send up to bat the shortstop today, Eddie Naranjo, batting from the right side, wearing number 12. You can see Eddie either at third base or second base. He's got a chance here to put the Cougars on the board early in the first playoff game of the fall. Damian with a modest lead. That ball swung on, a looper to left field. Leiva goes halfway. Now he's going back to the bag. Caught by the left fielder. 2 outs. Leiva wasn't sure, had to go halfway. Coming in the box now is the catcher, Jean-Michael Cueto. And he'll step in from the left side wearing number 17. He's learning that catcher position. Leiva, who walked, is now on second base. And that's a strike called. Jean-Michael is a transfer from Belém. Vladimir De Silva. His pitch is swung on by Cueto. No balls and 2 strikes to the catcher. On the mound today is the sophomore Ryan Yambas for your Cougars. Vladimiro De Silva, tall, lanky right-hander, throws one in the dirt. Cueto swings and misses. One hops the catcher, and he throws down there to Zach Tyer for the third out. And after half inning of play, it's your Killian Cougars nothing. And coming up to bat is the South Dade Buccaneers. Welcome back to Ray Boyd Field, everyone, for some fall baseball between your Killian Cougars, who are visiting the Bucs today. And the Bucs are being coached by Chris today. Chris Rodriguez is out here. Omar couldn't make it. And you're watching this on the Florida Sports Programming Network, where we urge you please to follow and subscribe and tell your friends about us so we can keep bringing you this content. We do it for the family members, the abuelitos, the abuelas. They can't make it to these 3 o'clock starts sometimes. You'll have these on YouTube perpetually. You can watch them whenever you want. And if you want your team on YouTube, please send us an email or give us a call and book your game now. Whether it's a league game, a school game, a recreational game, we'll make you guys look like stars with post-game interviews and a whole lot more play-by-play coverage right here on the Florida Sports Programming Network. I'm Uncle Muggs bringing you the play-by-play. And once again, I want to thank head coach Chris Leon and his crew for letting us come out here and cover these Killian Cougar games. Chris Leon, Eric Martinez, and Abel Alonso, probably the finest coaching staff that you'll find in all of Dade County. And right now we have a 0-0 game. And we're at South Dade Field. And on the mound, let's go over the defense real quick for your Killian Cougars. Playing first base is Damian Leiva. Well, actually, it's Chase Martinez at first base. Then we'll have him and Leiva intertwined there. And Jean-Michael Cueto's behind the plate. Antonio Vasquez is at second base. Antonio Laziza's in right field. As we said, Ryan Yambas is on the mound. Kevin Nunez rounds out the infield. And it's Jordan Scantleberry, Henry Blanco, and Zorro in the outfield for your Killian Cougars. And coming up to bat here for the home team, the Bucs. The first batter is Sebastian De Valle. And he is the shortstop. He'll be followed by Luis Hernandez. Then it's Big Zach Tyer. Kernil Quinones is the DH. followed by Santana, who's playing third. Then it's the catcher Oliva. And you'll find Fabian Orama batting seventh, playing right field. Dan Caceres is playing center field. Gavin Greer's the second baseman. Then we'll have Damian Gorey as an extra hitter, and he'll be followed by Charlie Delancey. And that ball's lifted into right field. Lazizo's got a beat on it. Zorro catches it for the first out of the inning. And that's what Brian Yambas needs, is to pitch the contact, get some strikeouts when he can, and get his Cougars a win here in the first playoff game of the fall. They'll be back at it on Saturday at Miami Springs for the second game. And now in the box for the Bucs, it's Luis Hernandez. Fouled straight back. Like I mentioned earlier, I love coming out here to South Dade. You get to see all the vegetation, all the vegetables growing, and you occasionally see a horse or a cow or something. I mean, we are Miami. It's not like we're Wisconsin or anything. But it's always fun to see all the beautiful landscaping and the big houses. And this time of year, it's beautiful. I was out at Robert is Here. I bought one of those $12 milkshakes and taking in a ball game here at South Dade. Quickly, the count is 0-2 here to the left fielder Hernandez. That ball's taken high. Yambas is working from the full windup. Hernandez swings, and that ball slowly hit the third base. Nunez picks it up, and he fires across to Martinez for the second out. And that was a smooth operator over there at third base. Came up with that one, fired across for the second out. Big Zach Tyer gets in the box here for the Bucs. Looks like he hasn't missed a meal in a few years. Wearing number 44, power hitter's number. That catches the corner for a strike for Yambas. I'd hate to see the Publix bill at his house. He's at least 2 shopping carts. Yambas gets a sign from Jean-Michael Cueto. Tyer looks at that fastball high for ball one. Quickly 2 outs here for the sophomore, who's no stranger to the mound. He's has plenty of experience. He's going to see tons of inning in this upcoming 2025 spring for the Cougars. No doubt he'll be the workhorse for Coach Eric Martinez and Chris Leon. Here's the 1-1 from Yambas. Swung on and driven in the right center field. A late break by Zorro, and that one's going to get past him and go all the way to the wall. There goes Zach Tyer, rumbling, bumbling, tumbling, and it'll be a stand-up double for the first baseman, Zach Tyer. That ball was well hit. Yambas left a fastball a little high and outside. Tyer was able to extend his arms. And with the sun setting behind home plate, I think Zorro had a difficult time picking that ball up. He got a late break on it, and that ball rolled all the way to the fence here at Ray Boy Field, which is pretty dimensional. Not a huge park, but big enough to house a good high school game. 315 down the lines. 370 in the power alleys, and 400 straightaway center. Cornel Quinones steps in. He's the DH. Takes that ball from Yambas high. And just like the Cougars did in their half of the first inning, they have a runner on second base. A legitimate threat to score here. Identical pitch by Yambas is taken high by the DH Quinones. He'll be followed by Santana, the third baseman. And if he gets on, it's the catcher, Juan Oliva. Yambas is your pitcher. He's the sophomore. The 0-2. That's a strike. Quinones taking a couple pitches here. Tire being held on by Vasquez. Jean-Michael Cueto puts down the sign. Yambas agrees with it. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed to even the count at 2-2. Nice live fastball there by Yambas. Working the top half of the plate. A little bit too much for Quinones to get around on it. Quinones is a tall boy, big, strong boy. Young man, I should say. Yambas takes a peek at Tire, and there he goes for third, and that ground ball's hit right to the shortstop, who fires across Naranjo to Chase Martinez for the third out of the inning. And after one complete inning of play, it's your Killian Cougars 0 and the South Dade Buccaneers 0. And we'll be right back with more Killian Cougar fall baseball right after this. Welcome back to Ray Boy Field, everyone, for some Killian Cougar fall baseball between your Killian Cougars and the home team, the South Dade Buccaneers. Heading to the top of the second inning, it's a 0-0 ball game. The Cougars will send up Ryan Yambas, Antonio Laziza, Kevin Nunez, and the fourth batter this inning will be the senior, Kenry Blanco. And on the mound for the Bucks, it's Vladimir De Silva. Juan Oliva is the battery. Big Zach Tires at first base. Gavin Greer's playing second. Sebastian Del Valle is the shortstop. Santana's playing third. And there's a drive in left center field. It's hit high and right to the left fielder, Hernandez, who makes a play on it. A nice swing, the hardest, well, maybe the second hardest hit ball today. Zach Tires' double was hit pretty hard in the gap to right field in the previous half inning. That'll bring up the right fielder batting from the left side. It's Antonio Laziza. So one pitch, one out from De Silva. And he steps off. He's going through the signs again with his catcher, Juan Oliva. The outfield for the Bucks is Arama in right field. Caceres is in center field, and Luis Hernandez, who made that play, is in left field. There's an off-speed pitch taken by Zorro. Not positive if this is a playoff game or not. But I was told that for sure on Saturday it's going to be a playoff game. And we'll be playing at the home of the Golden Hawks of Miami Springs, whom the head coach is here taking in the game, David Fanshaw. 2-0 to Laziza. De Silva struggling a little bit with the control. And that's ball four to Laziza. So some speed on the bases now for the Cougars with one out in the top of the second inning. It's going to bring up the third baseman, Kevin Nunez. Kevin's been swinging a hot bat this fall. Had a couple RBIs a week ago. Coming in from the right side with number 11. Some speed on the bases with Zorro. De Silva takes a peek at him. Zach Tires holding him on. He throws, and he's back in time. Laziza's got the Betty Crocker Easy Bake Oven mitt on there to avoid jamming his fingers sliding into second base. De Silva comes set, and there goes Lasiza. That ball's well hit to left field. If it's fair, it's a home run, and it's a foul ball, but it's out of the ballpark. Kevin Nunez sporting a little bit of pop, and he barreled that one up. Would have kept that one fair. Would have been 2-0 for the Cougars. But it's a big strike. Zorro was running on the pitch. Well, that ball was well hit. A no-doubter right off the bat. Lasiza with a good lead. De Silva digs in, and there goes Lasiza. The pitch is swung on and missed, and Oliva's throw is high. Lasiza gets in there with a stolen base, and the count goes 1-1 to the third baseman, Kevin Nunez. So with one out, Lasiza is at second base, and the fans from Killian Cougar High School, they keep coming in here. They travel well. It's just about 20 miles away from the campus. That all-speed pitch is taken low and away. Vladimiro De Silva, the pitcher for the Bucks. Juan Oliva's the catcher. That ball's in the dirt, and that's an easy take there for Nunez. Count runs to 3-1. Kenry Blanco, the senior, is on deck. Antonio Lasiza is the runner on second. One out. Top of the second. De Silva fires and swung on and missed. And Nunez goes down swinging for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Mr. Instant Offense. Kenry Blanco, the senior, the center fielder. He'll come into pitch every now and again. He's been on base, I think, almost every game this fall. The sun is setting now behind home plate. The shadows are creeping across the infield. They've consumed the pitcher's mound and are reaching all the way to second base. The right fielder, the second baseman, and the first baseman have to shield their eyes because of the blinding setting sun right in their face. Blanco takes that for ball one. The runner on second is Antonio Zorro. Easy take there for Blanco with a low and away fastball from Vladimiro De Silva. Even the runner has to shield his eyes just to get the signs from third base coach Eric Martinez. De Silva, the right-handed pitcher. Blanco takes that one high. He's also a right-handed. De Silva is being very, very careful with Blanco here. One mistake and it could be 2-0 with just one swing of the bat from Blanco. He had 4 home runs last spring. He was taking all the way there. So 3-1 to the senior. He may not see a pitch that pretty again. But I guess Coach Eric Martinez had the yellow flag out, the caution. But now I think he's a go. Lasiza's on second. Ooh, and there's a fastball that just tipped. 2 strikes to the senior. He knows he just missed that one. De Silva just went after him, painted the outside corner. The count's full now to Kenry Blanco, the senior. So with 2 outs, top of the second inning, De Silva fastball swung on and fouled into the Bucks dugout. The count will remain the same. And we'll do it all over again. Top of the second inning. No score here at Ray Boy Field, home of the Bucks, the 2014 state champions. De Silva comes from the stretch, and there goes Zorro. The ball's taken for ball 4, and that ball gets away from the third baseman, Santana. And Lasiza will score the first run of the ball game on a throwing error right after a base on balls to the senior. And your Cougars are on the board with one run here in the top of the second. So a walk to Blanco. Stolen base, that's 2 stolen bases for Zorro. Makes it to third. And then the third baseman couldn't hang on to the ball. And Zorro alertly came home for the first run for the Cougars. There's a ball that's smoked but foul. Scantlebury way ahead of that ball, but hit it with some pop right down the line. You can hear it. Jordan Scantlebury, the left fielder for the Cougars. Blanco's on first, and there he goes. And that ball's well hit again. The left fielder's going deep back. Hernandez looks up, and that's a home run for the Cougars for number 23, Jordan Scantlebury. And he hits that one off Vladimir De Silva, and it gives the Cougars a very crooked number 3 on the top of the second inning. Home run, Scantlebury. Jordan really turned on that ball. He caught a pitch over the middle end, extended his arms, and that was a no-doubter right off the bat, the hardest hit ball of the afternoon. And with 2 outs, the pitching coach comes out and talks to him. Going to have a little meeting, and we'll be right back. We'll just keep it right here. Let's talk about if you want to put your rec game, high school game, league game, you want to have it professionally broadcasted and commentary. We can have sponsor mentions, upcoming events. Book your game now. Send us an email or give us a call to book your game and have you on this YouTube channel. And remember to please subscribe, like, forward. So the coach comes back off of the mound, off of the field. And now De Silva is ready to face the first baseman, Chase Martinez. And that one almost hits him inside. Three to 0. The Cougars behind a home run from Jordan Scantlebury. Now De Silva's having a hard time finding the plate. He started the inning with a hard line drive by Yambas. He walked Laziza, who stole 2 bases. Kevin Nunez struck out. Blanco walked, and while he was walking, Laziza stole the base. The catcher threw bad to third base, and he scored the first run. Now with Kendry on first after a walk, Jordan Scantlebury came up and drove a ball over the left field fence and made it 3 to 0, and that's where we are right now with a 3-0 count to the first baseman, Big Chase Martinez. Now, this is one of my favorite Cougars. I know I say that a lot, but Big Chase, every time he sees me, comes by, says hello, always has time to shake hands and chit-chat, ask me how I'm doing. Signs of a well-raised kid. And there he is taking his walk over to first base. That's going to cycle the lineup and bring up the leadoff batter, number 26, Damian Leyva. So with 2 outs, Leyva will face De Silva. And he'll be followed by Antonio Vasquez and Eddie Naranjo. Now, last time I said that Chase was on first base and that ball swung on and driven to high center field. Garces calls it. Daniel Carrasez makes the play for the third out, but not after your Killian Cougars score 3 in the top of the third. And as we head to the bottom of the second inning, it's your Killian Cougars 3 and your South Dade Bucks coming up to bat. Welcome back to Ray Boy Field, home of the South Dade Buccaneers, the 2014 champions, behind Hall of Fame coach Fred Burnside. Senior Eric Manoa led that team in pitching and hitting, and his younger brother was also on that state championship team, Alec Manoa, who's an active member of the Toronto Blue Jays. And it's been 10 years since Fred and the Bucks have won down here. Today we have fall baseball between your Killian Cougars and the home team, the Bucks, on the Florida Sports Programming Network. I'm Uncle Muggs doing the play-by-play. The Bucks will be playing a doubleheader. They have the Golden Hawks of Miami Springs waiting on deck here at the end of this game. On the mound, it's been Brian Yambas who started. This is the bottom of the second. He's got a 3-run cushion thanks to a home run by Jordan Scantlebury and an error by the third baseman Santana, who's now batting. The Cougars were able to get 3 runs in the top of the second inning. I keep forgetting we're on the road. So Santana steps in with Juan Oliva following him. And then it'll be Fabian Orama, the right fielder. Daniel Caceres is the center fielder. He'll be batting fourth. And he'll be followed by Gavin Greer, the second baseman. It's the bottom of the second. Ryan Yambas, the sophomore, throws an off-speed pitch in there for a strike. And I'll tell you, Yambas doesn't act or look or pitch like a sophomore. He's more throwing like a junior or a senior. He's looking like a seasoned veteran up there. He has a mound presence, a nice live fastball. And there you saw an off-speed pitch for a strike. And he'll work these pitches and try to keep the batters off balance. But the great thing about Yambas is he has so much experience on the mound that he won't get rattled over a walk or a hit or a couple hits, and he'll keep his composure. A really cool guy. And that ball smoked foul down the third base line by Santana. It evens the count at 2-2, but I can't say enough about this pitcher, Ryan Yambas. Again, he's a sophomore. For these Killian Cougars are going to have a bright future behind head coach Chris Leon with the crop of juniors that they have and these spectacular sophomores, Antonio Vasquez, and they have some freshmen as well. That ball rides inside high for a ball. So Cueto's behind the plate. Gene Michael's been getting better every game. I believe we have a full count here. To Santana, who swings and misses. The ball pops out of Cueto's glove. Santana takes off for first. Cueto fires over to Damian Leyva, who's over there at first base now for the first out of the second inning. And it's the catcher, Juan Oliva. Juan also batting from the right-hand side. We were down here facing the Bucks, the Cougars, on October 14th. Cougars came away with a 7-4 victory in that game. Oliva walked. And he grounded one to first base, and that ball's lifted to right field. Zorro backs up. Now he comes in. The ball lands in front of him for a clean base hit for Juan Oliva. Now the sun's gone down. Can't say that the sun was in his eyes, but Zorro's had his challenges out there in right field today. He took a step back and then he came in, but I don't think that ball was catchable. So with one out, the Bucs are going to have a runner on first base for the right fielder, Orama. Fabian Orama is the right fielder. The pitch from Yambas is taken inside and pops out of Cueto's glove, but the umpire says it was a strike. Santana has a pinch runner. I'm not sure who he is, but he's playing cat and mouse over there with the pitcher. Orama took a pitch inside, and I thought he was going to steal. Another throw to first. We'll take a peek here to see if the runner's going. He goes about a quarter of the way and comes back, and that's strike two. Yamba's keeping an eye on the runner at first. Two strikes to Orama. The runner goes. Orama hits a ground ball to third base. Nunez backs up on it. It gets by him all the way to Scantlebury in the left field. And that's a ball that I think Nunez could have come up with. And he took a peek over to the runner. So a two-hopper gets by Nunez. That'll put Bucks in the first and second with one out. That's been the only problem that needs to be cleaned up here for the Cougars. As Caceres, the center fielder, steps in with runners on first and second for the Bucks. They're down by 3. Martinez is in on the grass. Vasquez is going over to cover the pinch runner. And he squares the bunt, and that pop fly over to Yambas, who turns to second and gets a double play to end this inning. An incredible play by Ryan Yambas on a bunt by Caceres, catches it cleanly in the air, and turns to Naranjo that was covering second to get the pinch runner out for the second out. So no damage done here in the bottom of the second inning. And as we head to the top of the third, it's your Killian Cougars 3 and the home team, the South Dade Bucks, 0. And we'll be right back with more Florida Sports Programming Network right after these messages. Welcome back to Killian Cougar Fall Baseball here from Ray Boyd Field, home of the 2014 South Dade Buccaneers, state champions. And we have a new pitcher on the mound for the Bucks. On the bump, it's Sterling Jones, and he'll be facing Antonio Vasquez, Eddie Naranjo, John Michael Cueto, and Ryan Yambas, who ended the previous inning with a beautiful double play on a bunt that was hit back to him. He was able to turn and deal to second where Naranjo was covering and turned a double play and got himself out of a jam that had 2 runners aboard. And your Cougars are up 3-0 on what's turned out to be a spectacular fall afternoon here in South Dade. Temperatures about 79, 80 degrees, a light breeze coming over the right field fence, and nothing but blue skies and white puffy clouds. And it's the top of the third inning with the Cougars up 3-0, and the second baseman, the sophomore Antonio Vasquez, steps into the box. Jones with a nice live fastball, but it's taken high. That one catches Antonio right in the helmet, but he's okay. A grazing blow, and he's going to make his way down to first base. I'm sure that wasn't intentional. Jones just came into the game and maybe got a little excited there. The shortstop comes in, Eddie Naranjo. He's taken a few signs from Coach Eric Martinez over at third base. And with a runner on first, Jones comes from the stretch. Naranjo takes a strike. Didn't look like any play was on. Now Martinez is flashing through some signs at first. At third base, Tony's at first, on first. Held on by Zach Tyre. That ball's hit slowly to the shortstop, who comes up with it, and he only has one play. Is over to first. It goes by Zach Tyre. Naranjo tumbles and bumbles over there by first. Vasquez makes it all the way to third. Del Valle had a hard time coming up with that ball cleanly, and I think caused him to throw the ball into the dirt right in front of Zach Tyre. And that ball got by him. At the same time, maybe Tyre's feet got tangled up with Naranjo. But Naranjo ended up flying behind first base, and now he's on second, and we have Cougars in the corners with nobody on for the left-handed batting, John Michael Cueto, who's the catcher today, and he's got a chance to open this one up more. Naranjo with a delayed steal. And that was a strike to Gene Michael. The infield's coming in for the Bucks. They're trying to cut the runner off at home. Cueto takes that one for a strike. That one looked like it was right down the middle. A couple defensive changes for the Bucks. Santana's no longer playing third base. But Del Valle, Greer, and Zach Tyre make up the infield. And a little slap ball caught by the shortstop Del Valle, who throws it home, but the runner goes back to first. So Vasquez didn't come home on that ground ball. He didn't have to with first base open. So with the fielder's choice, the bases are now loaded. Cueto makes it over to first. Eddie Naranjo's at second. And it's going to bring up the pitcher Ryan Yambas with a chance to help his cause even more here in the top of the third inning. The Cougars scored 3 in the previous inning. And there's nowhere to put them as the corners are in for the Bucks. Jones's pitch is fired and hit to the right field line. If it's fair, it's trouble. And it's fair, and that's going to be at least a double. It was cut off very nicely by Fabian Arama in right field. But 2 runs are going to score. Eddie Naranjo and Antonio Vasquez are going to make it 5-0 for the Cougars. Cueto's going to go all the way to third base, and that's going to be a base hit and 2 RBIs for the pitcher Ryan Yambas, helping his own cause here at Ray Boyd Field. Tremendous piece of hitting. Lined that one right over the first baseman. Luke Fernandez is in to pitch run for Yambas. Nobody out. Antonio Laziza's the batter, and he swings at the first pitch. Foul ball, strike 1. Laziza's batting from the left side. He's playing right field. That was a beautiful hit by Yambas. And a great cutoff by Arama. The throw's into dirt. Fernandez is going home. And they get Cueto coming home. Actually, that was a pinch runner. Pinch runner who came in for G. Michael Cueto. Sorry, a pinch. Then Lucas Fernandez was a pinch runner for Yambas. And he made it to second base now with 1 out. So on the throw to second, pinch runner. And that ball's hit off the end of the bat. It's hitting over to third. Third baseman comes up and fires, and he got him in time. He says it was in time for the second out. The runner advances. Laziza hit one to third base that came off the end of the bat with a lot of spin. The new third baseman who came in for Santana picked it up and fired over to Zach Tyre at first base for the second out. So the Cougars with a runner on third. The third baseman, Kevin Nunez, is in the box. We have a 5-0 ball game here at Ray Boyd Field, home of the South Dade Bucks. Sterling Jones throws one in the dirt, and here comes the pinch runner, Fernandez. The play of the plate's going to be close, but it hits off the heel of Jones's glove, and Fernandez is going to score the third run. So 3 runs in the second, 3 runs in the third. It's 6-0 in favor of the Cougars. And Kevin Nunez is your batter in the top of the third inning. And he can start this party all over again. Just keep getting on base, keep running around the bases. That ball's well hit into the right field on the ground between the first and the second baseman. A good piece of hitting by the red-hot Kevin Nunez keeps this inning going for the Cougars. And that's going to bring up Mr. Excitement, the senior center fielder, Kenry Blanco, with a runner on first. A 6-0 ball game, and I'm sure head assistant coach Eric Martinez is giving him the green light. If you like it, swing on it. And on deck is Jordan Scantlebury, who hit that home run in the second inning to break this game open. It's been all Cougars here at Boyd Field. First pitch to Blanco is a ball. And that one is hit over the third base bag, and it's a fair ball for Blanco. And there goes Nunez. He's rounding second, and they're going to hold him. It's going to be a stand-up double for the senior. Number 3, Kenry Blanco. Nunez is going to go to third, and we're going to be right back because I believe there's a pitching change from your Bucks. So we'll be right back on the Florida Sports Programming Network right after this. Welcome back to Killian Cougar Fall Baseball. The Cougars are on the road today, paying a visit to the South Dade Bucks. And we're at Ray Boyd Field, and it's a 6-0 ball game. We are in the top of the third inning. The pitcher continues to be Sterling Jones for the Bucks. And with 2 outs coming into the box, it's the red-hot Jordan Scantlebury. He'll have a runner on second, and I say red-hot because the last time up he hit a 2-run home run over the left field fence. And that kind of broke the game open for the Cougars. He had already scored 1 run, but Scantlebury's home run put him up 3-0. And with the runner on second, that off-speed pitch is taken low and away. Scantlebury showing good pop. That ball was well hit, the one he hit in the second inning. Smoked it over the left field fence. And that ball hits him right in the elbow. Maybe the forearm, the wrist, and he's grimacing, and that's not what you want to see without any padding on that left hand, left arm. All right, it's going to load the bases now. It's going to load the bases for the first baseman, extra hitter, all-around good guy, Chase Martinez. Big Chase wearing number 25. Wouldn't it be something to see a grand slam here? Already 6-0 in favor of your Cougars. Sterling Jones is laboring here for the Bucks. Juan Oliva is his catcher. And that ball swung on a mighty cut by Big Casey. Chase is in the hole 0-2. But it only takes one. And there it is. And there's a drive over the second baseman. He goes back on it just beyond the reach. That's going to bring in one run. The second run, Blanco comes across. Chase is hustling all the way to second, and he'll make it to second base. A base hit with 2 RBIs for Big Chase Martinez. Just like that, it's 8-0. And now we will have a pitching change. We'll be right back after these brief messages with more Killian Cougar Fall Baseball on the Florida Sports Programming Network. Welcome back to Ray Boyd Field, home of the South Dade Bucks, where it's fall baseball between your Killian Cougars. And the new pitcher for the Bucks is Zach Tyre. He comes in from first base. And Zach's a big boy. He comes from the stretch. He throws off speed pitches. He goes three-quarter arm. He goes sidearm. He's got a good live fastball. And right now it's 8-0 in favor of your Killian Cougars. And this inning has been a 5-run inning. And it started off by Antonio Vasquez getting hit by a pitch. And then Eddie Naranjo got a base hit. Michael Cueto got a hit. Ryan Yambas got a hit. Kevin Nunez got a hit. Henry Blanco got a hit. Jordan got hit by a pitch. And then it was Chase Martinez with a base hit and an RBI. And this is going to bring up the leadoff batter for the Cougars, Damian Leyva from the left side. Now the shadows have completely engulfed the field here at Ray Boyd Field, home of the Bucks, where they will be playing a doubleheader later tonight. They'll be playing the Miami Springs Golden Hawks. And right here, it's Zach Tyre, the pitcher for the Cougars. Juan Oliva's behind, for the Bucks. Juan Oliva's behind the plate. Damian Leyva streaks that one out to second base. The diving Greer can't come up with it. One run is going to score. And Martinez is going to score the 10th run. 2 RBIs there for the senior, Damian Leyva. So one pitch, one swing, beautiful full moon night, and 2 more runs for the Killian Cougars, who are the visiting team today. Ten runs. The batter's Antonio Vasquez, and he lifts one in the right center field. The center fielder comes over, and Caceres lays out and makes a tremendous catch for the 3rd out of the inning. But not before your Killian Cougars score 7 runs in the top of the 3rd inning. And it's your Killian Cougars 10 and the South Dade Buccaneers nothing. We'll be right back with more fall baseball on FSPN. Welcome back, Cougar fans. It's more fall baseball between the visiting Killian Cougars and the home team, the South Dade Bucks. We're coming to you today from Ray Boyd Field, which is in South Dade. It's home of the South Dade Buccaneers, who were the 2014 7A state champions behind legendary head coach Fred Burnside, and a couple of seniors that senior that led the way, that led that team was Eric Manoa, and his younger brother Alec was on that team, and they won the championship for Coach Burnside back in 2014. And we're here visiting the current Bucks team, who is down to your Killian Cougars 10-0. That's right, folks, 10 runs, the highest output in this fall. Lots of cushion now for the starting pitcher that is about to start his 3rd inning. It's Ryan Yambas. He'll be facing Gavin Greer, Damian Gorey, Charles Delancey, and the leadoff batter, Sebastian Del Valle. And we've had a lot of good hitting from the Cougars today. The story has been the big home run by Jordan Scantlebury to put the Cougars up 3-0 in the second inning. And they put a 7 spot up in the third inning. Lots of cushion here for Ryan Yambas, who throws the first one in the dirt. Bottom of the third inning. Can't ask for anything more. 10 runs, 3 innings for the Killian Cougars. A shutout being thrown by the sophomore, the right-hander, Ryan Yambas. Greer from the right side takes a strike to even the count. Saturday's the first playoff games of the fall for your Killian Cougars, and they'll be over at the home of the Golden Hawks of Miami Springs, who are led by head coach David Fanshaw. And that ought to be a good one. I expect Zach Fernandez to start that game and be on the mound for the Cougars. And Chris Leon is going to pull out all the stops to try to be 2024 fall champions. For your Cougars, Greer looks at a strike from Yambas. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count to the Bucs second baseman, Gavin Greer. That ball's driven into center field, but easily there is Kenry Blanco, and he makes the first out here on the bottom of the third inning for the Cougars. The Bucs are going to bring up Damon Gorey. Gorey's batting from the right side. Yambas is a right-handed pitcher. Naranjo and Eddie Nunez are on the left side of the infield. That ball swung on and missed for strike 1. Vasquez and Martinez are on the right side of the infield. Laziza, Blanco, and Scantlebury make up the outfield. And your battery is Ryan Yambas and Jean-Michael Cueto, who makes a nice stop back there on a short hop from Yambas. Yambas the sophomore, but he doesn't act like one. Doesn't throw like one. Doesn't have the mound presence of a sophomore. He kicks and deals, and he fires that one high. Greer looks at that one for a ball. Yambas fastball is taken high. 3 balls and 1 strike to Greer, the second baseman, with 1 out for the Bucs. The bottom of the third inning. 10-0 in favor of your Killian Cougars. There's a strike. Fill up the count. Painted the outside corner with that one. Greer can only look at it. Now the payoff pitch from the sophomore, Yambas. Cueto gets down on one knee. The fastball's low and away. Just got away from him. So with 1 out, Gorey steps up. Okay, pardon me, the runner on first base is Gorey. Greer flied out. And the batter now is Charlie Delancey. The Cougars are up 10-0. That I do know. I know there's a full moon over right field. It's a beautiful night. We're at Ray Boyd Field. The pitch is taken low and away for a ball. Sebastian Del Valle, the shortstop, and he's on deck. He'll be followed by Luis Hernandez, the left fielder. But right here, Yambas throws way inside. Delancey gets out of the way. One out here at the bottom of the third. Ryan Yambas takes his sign from the catcher, Jean-Michael Cueto, and that's a strike. Delancey was taking the whole way, and another full count. A couple innings ago, Yambas made a double play. Caught a bunt out of the air. He could use another one here. And there's a little fly ball hit to Yambas, who calls it right off the mound. Martinez came over to take a peek. But that's going to be the second out of the inning on a weakly hit ball to the infield. Runner stays on first. With 2 outs, the leadoff batter steps in. Sebastian Del Valle. Del Valle hit a fly ball to right field his first time up. Yambas throws one in the dirt. The runner on first is Damian Gorey. And he's got that kitchen mitt on his right hand. As Yambas looks over there a couple times. Chase Martinez is holding him on. That ball swung on by Del Valle, but foul. With 2 outs. Yambas is going to go to work on him again. Killian Cougars are on the road. We're at Ray Boyd Field, way down in South Dade. Corey stays on first, and Yambas' pitch is taken low by the shortstop, Del Valle. Wouldn't be surprised if this is the last inning for the sophomore Yambas. He's thrown an awful lot of pitches, had a couple full counts. And now he's going deep in the count to the shortstop, Del Valle. Corey with a nice lead over at first. A throw over. He's in time. Beautiful full moon over right field. Two outs in the bottom of the third, and that ball's hit weakly in the infield. And what a play by Naranjo, who comes in and makes that play right behind home plate for the third out. Del Valle goes down on an F6, and after 3 complete innings of play, it's your Killian Cougars with a 10 spot, and the home team, the South Dade Bucks, with nothing. And we'll be right back on the Florida Sports Programming Network. Welcome back to Killian Cougar Fall Baseball on FSPN. I'm Uncle Muggs bringing you the play-by-play. We are at Ray Boyd Field, home of the South Dade Senior High Buccaneers. On the mound is Zach Tyre. He's the new pitcher for them. It's 10-0, folks. We're heading to the top of the 4th inning. Eddie Naranjo, the shortstop, is the leadoff batter here for the Cougars, and he made an excellent play to end the inning on a looping line drive behind the mound that he came in on and caught it in the air. He'll be followed by the catcher, Jean-Michael Cueto. Then it's Ryan Yambas, And if anybody gets on, it's Antonio Laziza. And the bats have been hot for the Cougars today. Ten runs as a team. Only 2 strikeouts. Six hits, including a Jordan Scantlebury home run in the second inning. 2-0 here to the shortstop Naranjo, and Zach Tyers on the mound. He's a sidearm kind of pitcher. There's a strike. Zach Tyers coming from the stretch. He's right-handed. Naranjo's right-handed. That ball's taken inside. 3 balls and 1 strike. The count to the shortstop, Naranjo. That ball's laced into left field, right over the third baseman for a clean base hit for the shortstop, Eddie Naranjo. Naranjo on first. It's going to bring up from the left side, Jane Michael Cueto. The catcher is Gene Michael Cueto. The pitcher, Zach Tyre. Juan Olivas behind the plate. And that ball swung on and hit sharply to right field. The right fielder goes all the way back. Arama can't get it. It rolls all the way to the fence. That ball's well hit. Here comes the runner. Naranjo's going to be held up at third. Now he's going home. Here's the throw. No, it gets away from the first baseman, and Naranjo's going to score the 11th run for the Cougars on some good wheels and a base hit, a solid, maybe a double even we'll give him. Gene Michael Cueto with an RBI. And with no one out, it's the pitcher Ryan Yambas, who's been smoking hot lately. Not only on the mound, he's been pitching a shutout, but he had a 2 RBI base hit the last time up. We're going to have a courtesy runner, a pinch runner that's going to come in for the catcher. Well, lots of runs here. Hope they can score this many on Saturday. And that ball's well hit and deep to left center field. Hernandez goes back. It bounces off the wall. Here comes the pinch runner. And Yambas, who's been on fire with the bat, hits another double. Has another RBI. That's the 12th run for your Cougars. And boy, Yambas has been swinging a hot bat lately. A solid base hit in the second. The first inning, he hit a line drive right at the left fielder. And this one was just a few feet away from leaving the yard. The Yambas faithful really wanted a home run there. And that's probably as close as you can come without hitting one out here at Ray Boyd Field. 2 more runs. That's 12 runs for your Cougars. Laziza, the batter. Yambas has hit 3 balls really hard today. And you can hear the sound of it just coming off the bat. It just sounds different. 2 balls to the left-handed batting. Antonio Zorro Laziza. Zorro hits one right back up the middle for a clean base hit. The runner's going to hold on third. So the pinch runner they came in for Yambas is going to stay on third base. Zorro with a solid base hit right up the middle. And that's going to bring up the red-hot Kevin Nunez, who's struck out and got a base hit in this game with a couple RBIs. I'll tell you, up and down this Cougar lineup, everybody has been hitting the ball very solid today. No cheap hits. Everything has been solid and right on the button. Coach Eric Martinez should be very happy with his offense. And Laziza's going to go not on that pitch. So Nunez takes that one high. Runners in the corners with no one out. Zach Tyre on the mound, and no pun intended, but he looks like he's a little tired. He's laboring a little bit. 2-0 here to Kevin Nunez, the third baseman. Laziza's on first. Pinch runners on third. That ball's taken for a strike. Trying to see who the pinch runner is on third base, so with no one out. That ball swung on and popped high and going foul, and it goes out of play. Well, the pinch runner is Julian Zeladon, GW they call him. He's on third base. He's running for Cueto, who smoked the ball into right field. Wow, stand-up double. That ball was well hit. Zach Tyre throws, and that ball swung on, and it's hit in the hole on the right side. GW is going to score. Laziza is going to stay on second. And another excellent piece of hitting by the Cougars. And that's going to be 13 runs. When is the mercy rule? I've had enough. So GW scores. Laziza goes to second. And Kevin Nunez stays super hot. And here's a guy you don't want to face, is Kenry Blanco. So Juan Oliva, the catcher, goes out and talks to Zach Tyre, and I know what he's telling him. He's telling him, if you throw this guy anything around the plate, your neck is going to hurt. He says, what do you mean my neck is going to hurt? Yeah, your neck is going to hurt from following that ball going past you, maybe all the way over the fence. So Kenry Blanco steps in. He's got a base hit. The senior takes that off-speed pitch from Zach Tyre for a strike. "13 runs. Oh, that ball swung hard, a little bit late. He knows he missed that one. He shook his head a little bit. 1-1, nobody out here in the top of the fourth inning for the Cougars, who just keep pouring it on. They scored 3 in the second. They scored 7 in the third. And here in the fourth inning, they have 3 runs on the board already and still threatening with Laziza and Nunez on base. Blanco, the senior. Zach Tyre looks at the runner. He kicks, and that fastball's outside for a ball. Good discipline by Blanco to lay off that pitch. This game started close to about 4:15. We're an hour and a half into it. Zach Tyre looks at Laziza at second, and that off-speed pitch, a little poke to right field, and that's going to drop in there for a base hit. Martinez is going to hold the runners. We're going to have Cougars on every base. It's another base hit for Kenry Blanco. He's 2 for 2 with a walk. Excellent piece of hitting, some two-strike hitting on a pitch that was well off the plate. He reached out and touched it and went into right field. And I believe that's going to bring on a pitching change here for the home team. The Bucks, with no one out, 3 runs scored, and the bases loaded. And we'll see what's going to happen here. We'll stay here and talk about how you can get your team on YouTube, whether it's your rec team, little league team, or high school team. Just give us a call or an email, and we can do some sponsor mentions. We could talk about upcoming events that are going on in the school or in the neighborhood. And book your game now, because some of the dates are already being taken up. All the good games are taken up. you're going to get to see this spring. Florida Christian, the Patriots. We'll see the Eagles from Southwest. We'll see these Killian Cougars and the Rams of Coral Park. They're all on the schedule for this spring. So get your team on there and get them noticed and the exposure that they need. All right, here at Ray Boy Field, this brings up Jordan Scantleberry, the left fielder, number 23. And he homered in the second inning. And right now, if it stands, he'll have the game-winning RBI. Two and 0 the count here. Zach Tyre stayed in the game. And Jordan Scantleberry with a chance to have a monster day. Already 2 RBIs. That one comes inside for ball 3. Nowhere to put him here in the top of the 4th inning with no one out. Tyre kicks and throws, and that ball's taken all the way. He didn't take the bat off his shoulder for that one. He was taken the whole way. Maybe a little high in the strike zone, but Scantleberry swung through that one. And now the count is full with no one out. Bases are juiced for Zach Tyre. Here's the pitch, and that ball swung on and missed. Big strikeout for Zach Tyre. He needed a non-contact out or a fly ball to the infield. It's going to bring up the red-hot Chase Martinez, who had a base hit and a couple RBIs his last time up. And it's 13-0. 2 touchdowns here by your Cougars. That ball from Tyre goes inside. Martinez didn't like it. Now Zaire gets his sign from Juan Oliva. The fastball to Martinez is inside for a strike, looking. Bases loaded, a 2-touchdown game for big Chase Martinez, the first baseman. And he's got a chance to have a career day here today. Ball high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to the first baseman. Sometimes he's the extra hitter. He could be the DH. He's swinging a hot bat this fall. There's an off-speed pitch, and Tyre really wanted that one. He was staring into the catcher after the pitch. Kind of had the body language of telling the umpire, hey, what's going on here? The 2-2 to Martinez. A fastball is taken inside, almost hits him. Sorry, that was 3-2. So it's going to walk in a run. Laziza's going to come in to score a run. Nunez is going to make his way to third. Kenry Blanco's on second. And with 1 out, the leadoff batter is the first baseman, Damian Leyva. Finally doesn't swing at the first pitch because it was in the dirt. So Laziza scored the 4th run of this inning, 14th overall. And there's one that skied way up in the atmosphere in the right center field. Caceres is camped out under it. Here comes Blanco. They're not going to get him. I'm sorry, Nunez scores. Blanco goes to third. And that's the 5th run of the inning. I'll tell you, the day Damian Leyva gets a hold of one of those, they're going to need to send out a search party to find that ball. "15 runs for the visiting team. Antonio Vasquez is the batter, and he swings at the first pitch, and he loops it over to second base. And that's going to be the 3rd out of the inning, but not after your Cougars score another 5 runs to make it a total of 15 runs. And as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, it's your Killian Cougars 15 and the home team, the Buccaneers, nothing. We'll be back with more fall baseball on the Florida Sports Programming Network. Welcome back to Killian Cougar Fall Baseball. We're here at Ray Boyd Field for the home game here for the Bucks. And we have a new pitcher for your Cougars. And it's Antonio Vasquez. Vasquez is a right-handed pitcher. And he will be facing the left fielder, Luis Hernandez. Then it's the pitcher, Zach Tyre. Then it'll be Killian Cougars. And Santana will be batting 4th. But Antonio Vasquez has a live fastball and a combination of pitches that he has a lot of control over. And he has about 4 or 5 different pitches that he can throw at any time and any count. Your Cougars are up to a 15-0 lead over the home team, the Bucks. Lots of hits, lots of extra base hits. The biggest hit of the game came off the bat of Jordan Scantlebury in the 2nd inning where he hit one over the left field fence. And that gave the Cougars a 3-0 lead, and that's all they've needed so far. Behind the arm of the sophomore Ryan Yambas, who pitched a gem. And he also had 2 hits and hit the ball really hard today. Ryan Yambas doing it with the arm and with the bat. And now Vasquez on the mound, and that ball's sharply hit to second base. Vasquez well, I think that was Vasquez playing second, but it's not. It's Eddie Naranjo who's moved over to second base. And Naranjo made the play over to Chase Martinez for the first out of the bottom of the 4th inning. Big Zach Tyres coming into the box here. And he'll be facing Vasquez. Vasquez now coming from the windup. That off-speed pitch just misses for a ball. So Eddie's playing second base now. I think that's Luke Fernandez who's taken over at shortstop. So the junior Luke Fernandez is at shortstop. Kevin Nunez is at second. Your outfield is Blanco, Lasiza, and Scantlebury. Antonio Vasquez and Jean-Michael Cueto, the battery. That ball swung on and squibbed on right in front of the. It's a foul ball called by the umpire. And we'll do it all over again, but with a strike to big Zach Tyre. The 1-1 pitch to Zach Tyre from Antonio Vasquez, and that's in the dirt. A rare fastball there by Vasquez. Bottom of the 4th inning, 1 out. We're at Ray Boyd Field, home of the Bucks. On a beautiful Thursday night, that ball scorched right back up the middle for a base hit. Blanco scoops it up. He was thinking about going to first base like he did a couple games ago and try to double up Tyre. It's going to bring up the DH, Killian Cougars, batting from the right side. And we'll have a courtesy runner for Zach Tyre, who is the pitcher. And it's the same courtesy runner. The throw over to first base by Vasquez is in time. And the runner gets back in time. Quinones, the DH, grounded a shortstop his last time up. The Bucs really haven't gotten anything going here. The Bucs are going to face the Golden Hawks of Miami Springs right after this, and that one's a little number back to Vasquez. Has trouble picking it up. He only has one way to go, and that's the first base where Martinez is there to get the second out. But a squibbly little ball off the end of Quinones' bat. Vasquez had some trouble with it. It hit the heel of his glove, and he finally came out firing. So Santana's going to be the batter. He started off playing first base, third base, and I'm being brought over some Cuban coffee by Mr. Leyva. Thank you, sir. A little shot of Cuban coffee here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Wish I had a camera on me. Check swing high. Taken for a ball by Santana. $15 runs. Hey, there's Uncle Muggs, and there's the shot there I'm talking about, a shot of the Cuban coffee right here at Ray Boyd Field. And you're watching Killian Cougar fall baseball. Santana takes that pitch outside. Wow, that was delicious. Runner on second base. Two outs here. Santana, the big boy, facing Antonio Vasquez. The off-speed pitch catches the corner for a strike, and that evens the count at 2-2. Vasquez trying not to lose him. The catcher Oliva's on deck for the Bucs. Vasquez's pitch is taken low, and that's ball 4 to Santana. It's going to bring up Oliva. And if Oliva gets on, it's going to be Orama, Fabian Orama. He made a nice play earlier on a ball that was hit by G. Michael Cueto into right field. Runners on first and second now with 2 outs. Bottom of the fourth inning here at Ray Boyd Field, home of the Bucs. That Vasquez fastball is fouled on at the plate by Oliva for strike 1. There's a 2-hour time limit. We're coming up on an hour and 45 minutes now. But the Bucs are down by 2 touchdowns, 15 runs. Vasquez looks at the runner in second, and he fires, and that ball's hit foul past the third baseman for strike 2. Nunez is at second. Eddie Naranjo has moved over to second base. The junior Lucas Fernandez is playing shortstop. And it's Scantleberry, Blanco, and La Ciza in the outfield. Your battery is Antonio Vasquez and Gene Michael Cueto's behind the plate. And that off-speed pitch just misses a little bit to Juan Oliva, the catcher. Vasquez looking to end it here, to end the threat. That must have just missed by a little bit. Two and two the count to the catcher Oliva, with runners on first and second with 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth inning for the Bucs. That fastball swung on straight back. Only 3 camera angles today here at Buck Field because of the close quarters. When we're at Killian Cougar Field, we have a little bit more room behind the backstop, and we're able to put 4 cameras. But depending on your field, we'll do a nice setup for you. That ball swung on and hit deep in the center field. Henry Blanco turns around. He's got a beat on it, and that's going to be the 3rd out here of the top of the 4th inning. And it's your Killian Cougars 15, and the home team, the Bucks, nothing. And we're going to line them up and shake hands here at home plate. I want to say thank you to Chris Leon and his coaching staff for letting us follow these Cougars around this fall. And that's another victory for the Cougars. An excellent pitching performance today by Ryan Yambas, as well as with the bat. And generally everybody in that Killian Cougar lineup really swung the bat well. Coming up next Saturday is the playoffs against the Golden Hawks from Miami Springs. We might bring you that one here, but we wish the Cougars the best of luck. Paws up, everyone. Another Cougar victory.
You're watching the Florida Sports Programming Network.